Being skinny fat is definitely the most confusing starting point of them all. I mean, an overweight individual can mainly focus on fat loss to get a ripped body, while a skinny individual can mainly focus on building muscle to get a ripped body. But what about if you are stuck somewhere in the middle, if you have the skinny fat physique? Well, to solve this problem, let's first define what skinny fat is and what causes it. Skinny fat can be described as the physique where you look skinny or average with the shirt on, but soft and fluffy with the shirt off. Classic characteristics of the skinny fat physique are fat covering the abs and hips, a hint of man boobs, a hip-dominant skeleton with narrow shoulders, a normal body fat percentage, but a lack of muscle mass and definition. Now, there are two main reasons why some of us end up with a skinny fat physique. The first reason is genetics, and the second reason is a poor fitness plan. When it comes to genetics, the main disadvantage that a skinny fat individual has is a hip-dominant skeleton with narrow shoulders. Now, you can't do much about your genetics, they just are what they are. But that doesn't mean you can't build an outstanding physique, and neither should it stop you from doing so. In fact, there are many guys with skinny fat genetics who have gone out and built a downright sexy looking physique. And if they can do it, so can you. Which brings us to the fitness plan. One of the biggest reasons why people get stuck with a skinny fat physique is because they focus too much on weight loss instead of improving body composition. To get rid of skinny fat, you must focus on improving your muscle to fat ratio and focus less on what is happening with your body weight. When you have too much fat compared to muscle mass, that is when you end up looking skinny fat. You see, when you have decent levels of muscle mass, you can still look good at a higher body fat percentage than those with less muscle. So, the skinny fat physique is not necessarily an overweight one, but one that lacks muscle mass. Okay, now that we know what skinny fat is and what causes the problem, let's look at the solution. There are 3 things you must do correctly with your fitness plan if you want to go from skinny fat to lean and muscular. And these are 1. Focus on resistance training, 2. Setting up your diet properly, and 3. Not overdoing cardio. As we just discussed, the major problem with the skinny fat physique is a lack of muscle mass. So focusing on building muscle is key. And the thing that signals muscle growth is resistance training. In fact, neglecting proper resistance training is the biggest mistake that people with a skinny fat physique makes. Now, even if you currently are lifting weights, you could potentially be making one of the following mistakes. If you're not getting stronger in the gym over time, you send no signals to your body that it needs more muscle mass. To fix this mistake, make sure that your training program is based on the scientific principle of progressive overload. Essentially, what this means is that you must try your best to consistently increase the amount of weight or the amount of reps that you do on your lifts over the course of your weeks and months in the gym. The good news is that progressive overload happens very quickly in the beginning, and you will see great results if you haven't trained in this way before. Most skinny fat beginners believe that to build big arms or a big back or a big chest, they just have to focus on those muscle groups by doing high rep pump training with isolation exercises. But unfortunately, that won't work very well. I mean, have you ever seen someone with huge 18-inch arms who also has a small upper body? Someone who looks like this? I guess not, right? Everything is big on the guy with 18-inch arms. His back, chest, shoulders, and even legs are going to be very well developed. It's more likely he will look something like this. So, to fix this mistake and to ensure that you grow optimally, spend most of your time and effort on lifting in the 4 to 12 rep range on big compound lifts such as squats, bench presses, overhead presses, deadlifts, pull-ups and rows. Training in this rep range on these kind of exercises is the most effective way to build muscle, especially if you are skinny fat and also in the beginning of your training journey. Most skinny fat individuals can't handle stress very well. By staying in the gym for too long and doing tons of work, your stress levels will go through the roof. This will further help promote the skinny fat look by causing bad recovery, leading to unwanted fat gain and muscle loss. In fact, research shows that excessive stress causes fat gain mostly around the midsection, which is the exact place skinny fat individuals tend to store most of their body fat in the first place. To fix this mistake, your goal should be to get in the gym, lift heavy for progressive overload for a few sets per muscle group, and then get out of the gym as quickly as possible. Doing this will ensure good recovery and reduce unnecessary stress. I'm sure you've heard the adage that you can't outtrain a bad diet. Well, it's true. A bad diet will cripple the potency of even the most optimal training program, especially if you are skinny fat. Let's look at the most common mistakes. One of the biggest dieting mistakes people with a skinny fat physique make is eating extremely low calories. I'm sure you know by now that you must eat fewer calories than what your body burns in order to lose body fat. However, if you restrict your calories too much, then you will bump into reduced training performance, muscle loss, ill-being, and other stress-related problems. In a 2014 meta-analysis by Helms et al., they found that caloric intake should be set at a level that results in body weight losses of approximately 0.5 to 1% per week to maximize muscle retention. Another common mistake is eating too little protein. A low protein intake, especially in combination with a low calorie intake, will lead to muscle loss. This has been supported in literature multiple times. In the same study as the one we just looked at, they saw that within the recommended caloric intake, most people will respond best to consuming 1.9 to 2.6 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight per day, or 0.85 to 1.2 grams of protein per pound of body weight per day. Another big mistake that causes people to end up with a skinny fat physique is doing excessive cardio, specifically steady state cardio. Multiple studies such as this one by Hansen et al. And this one by Akimoto et al. Show that excessive steady state cardio will interfere with strength and muscle growth. Now, this doesn't mean that you shouldn't do any cardio. It just means that overdoing it can definitely promote that skinny fat physique. To fix this problem, you need to cut down your cardio to a reasonable amount. Now, it's nearly impossible to give an exact recommendation for how much cardio you should do, as it is highly individual. But according to Eric Helms, a good rule of thumb when it comes to the amount of cardio to do when cutting are half the time you spend lifting weights per week. So, to summarize the video, what you want to do is the following. Number 1. Stick to a well set up weightlifting program and focus on getting stronger every week, preferably on a few key exercises. Number 2. Set up a moderate calorie deficit that causes you to lose 0.5 to 1% of your body weight per week. And number 3. Cut down your cardio if it's excessive and focus more on resistance training. Okay, so hey guys, I'm sitting here now and I just finished editing this video. And I just thought that during the edit that I wanted to give you something that you can just take with you and apply step by step to get rid of the skinny fat physique, both when it comes to training and when it comes to dieting. So I created a completely free PDF guide for you that I call the Skinny Fat Manual. And this is a very simple to follow step-by-step guide that first covers exactly how you should set up your diet, both when it comes to calories and when it comes to macros. And it also covers straight to the point how you should train. And I also included a workout routine that you can start doing right away. So if you're interested in getting this Skinny Fat Manual, you can download it by following the link that I added down in the description. Thanks for watching guys, and I'll be seeing you in the next video. Bye.